This isn't about what NVIDIA builds. It's about how it quietly came to shape the future and why we let it happen. It started as a gaming chip company at a time when no one believed games could change the world. But while everyone was focused on prettier pixels, something far more powerful was quietly taking shape. This isn't a story about faster chips or better graphics. It's about how a tool built for games became the unseen system deciding what the world does next. The world's most valuable company didn't start in a high-tech lab or a Silicon Valley garage. It started in a Denny's roadside diner booth. While others were building tools for spreadsheets and taxes, 3 engineers had a different dream: to make the digital world look as real as the physical one. At the time, computers were sequential. They did one math problem at a time, slow and steady. But our eyes don't work that way. We see everything at once. So Silicon Valley stepped in with a radical idea. What if we built a chip that worked like the human brain? Something that didn't just work harder, but worked together. They called it the GPU. It was a tool obsessed with visibility and speed. Today, in 2026, that same company is worth more than the GDP of Japan, Germany, and the UK combined.
That company, the one building the engine, is NVIDIA.
It started like a classic tech underdog story, a small team and a secretive mission. Their first goal? Video games. They wanted to turn blocky pixels into cinematic masterpieces. But behind the scenes, they were building something much bigger. They weren't just chasing better graphics, they were chasing the ability to simulate reality itself. If you can simulate reality, you can predict and eventually control the future. To understand why this matters, imagine your computer is a post office. The CPU, the old way. This is like having an incredibly fast mailman. He's a genius at math, but he can only carry 1 letter at a time. If you have 1,000,000 letters, or pixels, to move, he has to run back and forth 1,000,000 times. It takes forever. The GPU, NVIDIA's way. NVIDIA decided to hire thousands of mailmen who are all slightly slower, but they all work at the exact same time. Instead of one guy running 1,000,000 times, you have 1,000 guys each carrying 1,000 letters once. In the beginning, NVIDIA used this teamwork math to make video games look pretty.
But as the sources suggest with other powerful tech, once you build a tool that can see and connect dots better than a human, everyone from the military to big banks starts wanting a piece of it.
To enter Jensen Huang, the man in the black leather jacket, a leader who is part strategist and part monk, he didn't just want to build a better computer, he wanted to change how the world thinks. He called his creation the GPU. It was a fitting name for a tool obsessed with visibility and speed.
Like a Bond villain's tech startup, NVIDIA began with a small, obsessive team in a secretive office. Their first investor wasn't a bank, it was the belief that they could do what no human or traditional computer ever could: spot patterns hiding in plain sight. At the time, the world thought these chips were just for toys and video games, but Jensen knew better. He was building a God view for data. They weren't just chasing profit, they were chasing the belief that if you could calculate reality fast enough, you could own the future. Within the office, the culture was intense. They weren't like other tech companies that made apps or social networks. They were building the operating system of power. They weren't selling a product, they were selling certainty. The promise that their magic rectangle could find the truth buried in the noise. By the early 2010s, the world was drowning in data, and traditional computers were failing. Much like the military in 2007 was knee-deep in wars and 10,000 spreadsheets, the tech world was buried under mountains of information with no way to process it. Enter NVIDIA. Its chips didn't just draw pretty pictures anymore. They became the engine for the whole brain of the internet. They stitched together trillions of data points in a way that actually worked, allowing researchers to literally see patterns in data that were previously invisible. Scientists loved it. Tech giants swore by it. The biggest companies in the world took note. NVIDIA didn't just show you a graph, it showed you the path to the future. But the reality is, you don't need to be a data scientist for your life to be mapped and powered by these chips. Right now, thousands of AI models are using NVIDIA brains to decide what you see, what you buy, and how you move. The promise had become a product, and for the first time in computing history, the world's most powerful people wanted this software. Not because it was flashy, but because it was the only thing that could handle the ocean of data we had created. By the late 2010s, NVIDIA had conquered the world of play. They had outfoxed their rivals and proven their power in the virtual world. But there was one battlefield still untouched: corporate America. Not because NVIDIA didn't want in, but because for years, the world thought they were just a hardware company for gamers. Then came the pivot. NVIDIA launched a new mission. No longer just for toys, their chips became a foundry for the mind, cleaner, faster, and more powerful. They stopped being a component in a computer and started becoming the operating system of power. Suddenly, everyone wanted in. Oil giants used their chips to find where to drill. Pharma companies used them to simulate new drugs. Hedge funds used them to predict market crashes before a human could even blink. We used to make decisions with intuition. Now the world makes them with NVIDIA's magic rectangle. But here's where it gets weird. Almost no one outside the company's inner circle really understands how the most complex models running on these chips actually work. It's a black box of influence. We gave a single company power over the operating system of the future because their results were undeniable. In the corporate world, results get you paid, and NVIDIA was getting paid in a way no one had ever seen before.
By the 2020s, NVIDIA wasn't just a tech company, it was infrastructure. It had become the mind behind every modern breakthrough, sitting quietly behind military briefings and closed-door intelligence reports. When the world shifted toward AI, NVIDIA was already there, not with boots or bombs, but with the data processing power to map the future. They had branded it as the engine of progress, but it was quickly becoming the operating system of power. But with great power comes a terrifying reality. Just as critics once looked at surveillance software and saw an oracle of Orwell, people began to look at NVIDIA's reach. Its chips weren't just helping scientists, they were helping police departments forecast movement, helping border agents identify targets, and helping governments decide who to monitor and who to trust. When people ask about the danger of this power, the answer is always the same: we just built the hammer. The company insists they aren't responsible for how their magic rectangles are used. Whether to hang a picture or break into a neighbor's house, that's not on them. They claim to be the moral tech giants, drawing lines at authoritarian regimes, but the line between defense and domination is getting blurrier by the day. By the 2020s, NVIDIA had moved beyond being a hardware company. It had become a black box with influence. It was no longer just about the chips, it was about the intelligence those chips made possible. The world's most powerful AI models, the ones writing code, diagnosing diseases, and managing global supply chains, all live inside NVIDIA's architecture. But here's the unsettling reality. As these systems grow more complex, even the people who build them don't fully understand how they arrive at their conclusions. We have entered an era where we make decisions not based on human intuition, but because the magic rectangle tells us what to do. Shut down this factory, redirect this shipment, buy this stock. Much like the sources describe a digital consigliere for the Fortune 500, NVIDIA's technology helps the world's most powerful organizations make decisions faster, leaner, and often without understanding how. We gave this technology power over national logistics, healthcare, and finance because the interface looked cool, and more importantly, because it got results. In a world obsessed with efficiency, results get you paid. But as we rely more on this invisible operating system of power, we have to ask, what happens when we can no longer explain the logic of the machine that runs our lives? By the 2020s, NVIDIA moved into what the sources might call meta-constellations of intelligence. They aren't just helping us build faster computers anymore. They have become the architects of a new species of intelligence. Their technology doesn't just react to the future. It has the power to suggest how to shape it. But as we integrate these brains into every military drone, every medical breakthrough, and every financial system, the original mission has blurred. NVIDIA is no longer just a hardware company. It has become the operating system for the modern enterprise, and possibly the modern state. The company maintains a stance that they are the moral tech giants, drawing lines at who they will work with. But the line between defense and domination is getting blurrier by the day. When critics point to the dangers of such concentrated power, the response is often a variation of, "We just built the hammer." They argue they aren't responsible for how the tool is used, but when that hammer is the military's mind, the stakes change. We have reached a point where a single company provides the God view for the entire digital world. It began with a promise to make games more fun, a tool to entertain, not to rule. But now it provides a kind of power that is invisible, unaccountable, and always watching. When a single company's technology knows more than your cabinet or your generals, we have to ask the final, most important question: who exactly is in charge? And the most surprising part? We're still at the very beginning. If you want someone to break down tech like this, explain it simply, and show why it actually matters, subscribe. Because the future is complicated, and someone has to explain it like you're 5.